Hello, everyone, and welcome to another movie review. I am happy that you can join me today. All right, Ruth and Boaz is a new movie that started streaming on Netflix last Friday, September 26th, and it was produced by Tyler Perry and Devon Franklin. This is what Tyler Perry's critics wanted. They wanted Tyler Perry to work with screenwriters, which is what he did. And this movie was directed by Elena Brown. It stars Soraya. This actor goes by one name. Tyler Lepley and Felicia Rashad. The running time is an hour and a half. Devon Franklin is a producer that focuses on Christian-based, faith-based movies. So this film is a modern retelling of the Book of Ruth. If you are not familiar with the Judeo-Christian Bible, Ruth is one of the books of the Old Testament, and it tells the story of Ruth, who lost her husband and her father-in-law, which led to her and her mother-in-law, Naomi, moving to Bethlehem. And it was there she met and married a landowner named Boaz. So the movie starts off in Atlanta, where Ruth, played by Soraya, and her friend Bree just got a record deal from So Def, which in real life is Jermaine Dupri's record label. So Dupri has a cameo in this film. After a performance, Ruth finds out her boyfriend invited his parents, Eli and Naomi, played by Felicia Rashad, to watch her sing. When Ruth and Bree get in the studio to make an album, Ruth doesn't like the direction the music is moving to, so she drops out of the deal. Their manager, Cyrus, gets mad because he invested $250,000 into the group, and the record deal is worth 8 figures, so we're talking at least $10 million. Ruth was a foster kid, and you learn that through brief flashbacks. So Bree is the closest thing she has to family. However, it's not clear if it was hard for Ruth to walk away from the deal, because the movie moves at a fast pace. She gets a phone call from Naomi that her boyfriend and his father was in a car accident which killed them both. Naomi loses her house in Atlanta, which forces her to move back to her hometown in Tennessee. Ruth decides to go with her, and it is there she finds a job at a vineyard owned by Boaz, played by Lepley. So there is a plot twist between Acts 1 and 2, and then there's another plot twist between Acts 2 and 3. But the movie is considered to be a romantic drama. So once Ruth meets Boaz, the focus is on their relationship. And the movie has an old Hollywood ending that we almost never get anymore. So I am going to give this movie 3.5 out of 5 stars. The end made me teary-eyed, but the fast pace does not work in a movie like this. To depict Ruth as a foster child, I would have liked to see a little bit more of her backstory, how she found her talent for singing, how she met Bree, how they met their manager, and how Ruth lost her passion for the music she and Bree were making. It takes time to develop a talent to the point where you are ready for a record deal. And it's something the movie doesn't really show too much. In terms of acting, the standout actor was Felicia Rashad. Whenever she is in a scene, she is a force of nature. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that she has been acting now for close to 50 years. So she was probably the oldest actor on the set. She is playing a character who lost her husband and son in one night, and she is having a hard time moving on with her life and adjusting to her new reality. but without showing enough of Ruth's backstory, Ruth comes off as less complex than she probably is. But getting back to the complaints I hear about Tyler Perry, if you are one of Perry's critics, you should like Ruth and Boaz. He did not write the script. He did not direct the movie. And Boaz is portrayed as a positive black male character, which is one sticking point that Perry's critics make all the time, that he doesn't portray black men in a positive light, which to a certain extent I agree with them. But in this case, Boaz is a positive black male character. Ruth's boyfriend, aka Naomi's son, seems like a good guy as well. When Naomi moves back home, the pastor of her old church volunteers to renovate her house. And he renovates her house because it's in disrepair. He didn't have to do it, but he did it. These are all positive male characters, black male characters. Even in Boaz's father, who is not in the movie, but Boaz talks about him to Ruth, he also seems like an upstanding guy. He passed something valuable down to his son, which is the vineyard, which is, a large piece of land and a business. So Boaz's childhood sounds completely different than Ruth's childhood. Now, sometimes when you watch a Christian-based, faith-based movie, it can kind of get preachy. So I really like that this movie is not as preachy as I thought it was going to be. I think Tyler Perry and Devon Franklin make a good production team, and I am looking forward to the next movie Elena Brown decides to make. So that is all for today, my friends. Thank you, as always, for watching. Follow me on YouTube at Nightglow Entertainment. You can follow me on TikTok at MJ Burgess. And I will see you next time with another movie review. Let me know in the comment box below what you thought of the movie. And until then, take care.